And it's obviously impossible to have a conversation, or very difficult. And I suppose this has been explored with podcasts and long podcasts with people like Jocko Willink and Joe Rogan, who regularly do 2.5, 3 hour conversations with people so that we can actually, as best as possible, really understand people's perspectives and what's going on. But actually, most of our time, most of our lives, we're having very brief conversations with people. In the professional space, we probably have scant minutes to understand an issue, to translate an issue to each other, to move forward with something. We don't have 3 hours to explore every incident. And also in our personal lives, when we are communicating with each other, the time spent is often a fraction of what might be optimal. And we don't necessarily want to be transcribing every aspect of reality to each other, but sometimes it's far more important that we are explaining what's going on. And when our communications break down, when our relationships break down, then invariably a inadequate communication style is to blame. And I think a lot of our mental health problems, issues, are to do with our inability to express what we're feeling inside to the outside world in a manner that can be understood. And it sounds really easy. And again, you think, well, it's obvious. I just need to tell people how I'm feeling. But actually, that in itself is really complicated. And actually explaining how we're feeling and possibly even getting to the why, how we're feeling, that's another layer of the onion of complication here. Is far more difficult than you realize. Think about how many conversations you've really had that were difficult but focused on moving a relationship forward. Really think about that, because most of the time we get frustrated, we get overly emotional, we feel that we can't express ourselves or that we're not being understood. And sometimes that's because the other person isn't interested, and that's a separate problem. But all being equal, if you've got someone who would, in an ideal world, like to have a more effective relationship with you, then being heard, being able to articulate yourself. Yeah, it's very appropriate fumble over that word there. Articulate yourself in a way in which people can understand you is crucial. And that's where this understanding of all the information we drop becomes far more important, because we do have this incredible tendency to assume that other people are mind readers, and that we can read other people's minds. And seldom is that the case. We don't know what everyone else is thinking, and they don't know what we're thinking.